You've received your orders to PCS, to Patrick Space Force Base, and you're doing your research on the area. What to expect living in Florida, information about the schools, information about shopping, entertainment, and things to do. This video, I'm going to introduce you to life on the Space Coast, so stick around. My name is Larkin, and I'm a real estate agent here on the Space Coast. Besides helping people buy and sell real estate, I also answer a lot of questions about upcoming moves. So whether you're moving next week, next month, or next year, I am certain that you have questions, and I am very happy to help answer. You could give me a call, you could send me a text, or you can click on the link to schedule a call. Patrick Space Force Base. It is centrally located in Brevard County on the East Coast. The west side of Patrick is the Banana River. The east side of Patrick is the Atlantic Ocean. The north end is the city of Cocoa Beach, and the south end is the city of Satellite Beach. You've got two gates to get onto Patrick. One is towards the northeast side off of A1A closer to Cocoa Beach, and the second is at the very south end along South Patrick Drive, really close to the Pineda Causeway or the 404. Highway A1A and all of the causeways are how you're going to get to and from the base, the barrier islands, and the mainland. Besides the Pineda Causeway, the 404, you have the O'Galley Causeway to the south, along with 192 or the Melbourne Causeway. To the north, in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral, you have State Road 520 and 528. All of these causeways are going to connect you to the mainland and A1A, and there are also connectors to I-95. The central location of Patrick Space Force Base allows you to get in about 30 minutes anywhere between State Road 192 and State Road 528. If shopping and restaurants are important to you, there's quite a few options in this area. Viera is a great place to start. Here we have the Avenues, which is an open air type mall where you have movies, shopping, and restaurants. There's a good sized TJ Maxx and Home Goods here. And you'll find a great selection of the national chain style restaurants here in the Viera area too. The Chili's, the Longhorns, Outbacks, Buffalo Wild Wings, that type of restaurant. Other areas for malls and chain-like restaurants are to the south in the Melbourne area off of 192 and also in West Melbourne off of Palm Bay Road. To the north, you'll go to either Merritt Island or Titusville. If you like Costco, you're in luck. We have one that recently opened in Viera. Just take the Pineda Causeway west and you'll find it there. If you're interested in other membership style shopping areas, we have a couple Sam's Clubs and a couple BJ's in Brevard County too. And then staying beachside along the A1A corridor. You're not going to find a mall, but you will find shopping centers and strip malls that have shopping and restaurants there. The cool thing about beachside, you're not really going to see those big chain style restaurants. They're all mom and pop style restaurants except for the fast food places. For groceries in Brevard County, we have Publix, we have Winn-Dixie, we have Aldi's, and we also have the Targets and Super Walmarts. And of course, we've got Lowe's, Home Depot, and Ace Hardware sprinkled throughout the county too. If you're wondering about the nightlife and clubs here in Brevard County, you might be a little disappointed. There are certainly a selection of bars throughout the county. You can grab a bite to eat, have a drink, watch the game or some type of sporting event, maybe shoot some pool and catch some live music. But if you're looking for that nightclub clubbing scene, there's not really anything like that here in Brevard County. You're going to have to plan a trip over to Orlando or maybe a weekend trip south to Miami. If you like seeing a live concert or maybe a comedian or some type of show like that, well, we have the King Center in Melbourne where they come through regularly. I'll have a link in the description below so you can see the calendar of events. I have seen concerts there, but typically if I'm going to go see a live show, I'll make a trek to Orlando because I like seeing shows at the House of Blues and for Hard Rock Live at Universal. If parks and recreation outdoor areas are important to you, then Brevard County and the local municipalities have some amazing parks. I recommend you go by Wickham Park in Melbourne, Florida. Wickham Park has trails. They've got a playground. There's picnic areas. There's pavilion. There's frisbee golf. There's a dog run there. If you like to kayak in Satellite Beach, there's DeSoto Park where there is a kayak launch so you can go and explore the Indian River and the Grand Canal. Other great kayaking spots, you can simply pull off one of the causeways and launch your kayak there, or head up to Cocoa Beach and find Ramp Road to launch and explore the Thousand Islands and the mangrove tunnels. Patrick offers 4 parks to get you ocean access on the east side of A1A. All of our beach towns also offer easy access to the beach and the ocean. On Patrick, you could rent a boat or a jet ski if you want to go out and explore the Banana River and the islands in our area. There are lots of places for you to go fishing, either from the shore in the river or try surf fishing. Just know if you plan on fishing from a boat, you need to get a state license in order to fish from your boat. If you have kiddos, the schools in the area are probably important to you. The good news, most of the schools in Brevard County rank very well. You can go to sites like greatschool.org or schooldigger.com to do your research on school districts and how they rank. The bad news is I can't really give you an opinion on schools in a particular area. I can only guide you to these resources, and that's why I'll have links below for you to do the research. I've got the same answer on if you're asking if a particular area or neighborhood is safe. I can't legally give you that answer. I believe safe is a personal term. I could be driving through an area that I'm very comfortable with, and you might be thinking, get me out of here, and vice versa as well. I do have some great resources below that you can check out to look at the crime and what's happening in particular areas throughout Brevard County. So what do you think of the video so far? Give me a thumbs up if I'm hitting the topics you'd like to hear, and of course any comments or questions are certainly appreciated too. A lot of folks that have PCS to Patrick have never lived in Florida before, and I also speak to a lot of people that are moving here for the first time, and they all seem to have a couple concerns that I'd like to address. They're involving the weather, hurricanes, alligators, and mosquitoes. If you have any other concerns besides those, which I'm about to address, let me know in the comments. So the weather here in Brevard County, this is subtropical climate. 9 months out of the year, I think the weather is absolutely gorgeous. But then there's July, August, and September where it's brutally hot. You can expect temperatures in the upper 90s with very high humidity, and we don't really cool off overnight. Overnight lows are usually 82, 83 degrees, so it's just warm, hot, and muggy most of the time for those 3 months. But the other 9 months are beautiful. In the winter, from December to March, we typically see temperatures in the upper 70s, maybe the low 80s. Overnight, it'll get in the 60s. If we do have a cold front come through, we might see temperatures for a couple days in the 40s, but then it warms up quickly after that. And the extreme heat that I mentioned we get in July, August, and September, it will take you a season or two to adjust to that. You will never think, I love this steamy hot weather, but you will get used to the 90 plus degrees for those 3 months and learn to love your air conditioning too. Hurricane season is from June through the end of November, with the peak season in August and September. Yes, hurricanes, these things can be dangerous, and there's something you need to take seriously. The good news is we have notice of them approaching to give you time to prepare for the upcoming storms. The local news and weather will be giving you updates all the time. I personally like to watch Mike's weather page on social media. I recommend you give Mike's weather page a follow. And if the storm's threatening the East Coast, there's a chance you might have to evacuate depending on where you live. Mandatory evacuation are any of the barrier islands. So if you're living along the A1A corridor or Merritt Island, that is a barrier island. And also east of US 1 on the mainland. If they call for a mandatory evacuation, they're going to ask that you leave. But a mandatory evacuation doesn't mean you have to leave. It is your personal choice. Since I've lived in Brevard County most of my life, I'm usually asked how often I've had to evacuate. Well, the current home that I'm living in now is in Cocoa Beach, and I've been here for the last 8 years. I've had to board up my house to prepare for a storm 5 times, and I've had to evacuate 3 times in the last 8 years, just to give you an idea of the cycle and how often this might happen. But of course, every season is a little different, so we just hope it's a quiet season this time. However, if you are living here and there is a storm that's approaching and you're wondering what you need to do to prepare, the local news I've mentioned will give you some good resources. Plus, I have several blogs and videos on preparing for hurricanes that I'll link up below too. Alligators, they can be found throughout Florida and definitely here in Brevard County. They can be present in any body of water. Either they're there now or they will be at some time throughout the year. Remember, they want to avoid you as much as you want to avoid them. Some areas definitely are more prevalent than others where alligators could be present. I usually see them in more rural areas as I'm driving through the Kennedy Space Center, Pine Island in North Merritt Island, the Viera wetlands, for example. I've even seen them showing property where a house is located on a lake or a pond. I'll see them floating in the water. If you like to golf, there's a good chance that you're going to see them while you're out golfing in or near the water hazards. I've been kayaking along the Banana River just off of 528 where we paddled up to an island, and as we were walking across the island, I saw a big gator in the water that suddenly submerged. And that's usually what happens when I see them in the water. They usually submerge after we have eye contact. If you are in an area where they're quite prevalent and will be around, our county and municipalities usually will put warning signs along the water's edge not to swim or it's dangerous in this particular area. I know when I had dogs and we lived on a pond in Suntree, I did not like walking my dogs near the water's edge. And if I had small children, I would definitely not want them anywhere near the water's edge or even swimming in a lake or pond where an alligator could be present, just to be safe. Mosquitoes, they're a part of life living here in Florida. It depends on the area you live, on how bad the mosquitoes might be. Also depends on the wind direction that's happening, on whether they're keeping them in your area or blowing them on to the next. If where you're living at, there's lots of trees, shrubs, and tall grass, there's probably going to be more mosquitoes in that particular area. And usually after a couple days of a good summer rain, mosquitoes are pretty prevalent too. Just know that there's services out there that can spray your yard to help minimize the mosquito threat. And there's also things that you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot that'll help keep them away too. We've found a product called Thermacell that will turn on and it keeps mosquitoes clear in like a 10-foot radius from where we have the device. So where are you going to live now that you're stationed at Patrick Space Force Base? I know that there's housing options on Patrick, but most personnel decide to live off of the base. I'm going to give you an idea of areas that you can live that'll put you within 20 to 25 minutes of either the main gate off of A1A or the gate at the south end of Patrick. I'll also go over what to expect if you plan on purchasing or what the rental costs and options are. The absolute closest options to Patrick are the 32937 zip code, which is Satellite Beach or Indian Harbor Beach. It's located from Pineda Causeway, the 404 south to O'Galley. The single family homes in this area, they could be dry lots. You could be on a canal, you could be on the river. There are some ocean fronts too. Most of the homes in the Satellite Beach area were built in the 1960s and 70s. There is new construction that's happening today. The townhomes, they could be, most of them are dry. Some of them are on a pond, and there's a few of them that are oceanfront too. They were built mostly from the 1960s to the 2000s. The condominiums in Satellite Beach and Indian Harbor Beach, they are almost all oceanfront with a few of them that are dry. And they were built between the 60s and 2000s, and there's a couple new construction projects that are happening today. Homes, you can expect $400,000 to multi-million dollars, and condos and townhomes can be found from the mid 100s to over $1 million. So there's a wide variety of prices here. Rentals in the 32937 single family homes are between $2,100 and $6,000, and condos and townhomes could be between $1,150 and $6,800 a month. Just go to ericlarkin.com and you can search to see what's available. Of course, I'll have a link below. Heading north of Patrick to Cocoa Beach, you'll find the housing pretty similar to what you have in Satellite Beach. Most of it is older construction. Single-family homes were built between the 1950s and the 1980s, and there is some new construction that's happening now. These are on dry lots, they're on canal, they're on the river, or they're oceanfront. The condominiums, they're throughout the city. A lot of them are oceanfront. There's some of them that are on the river canals, and there's also the dry lots as well. These were built in the 60s to the 2000s, and there's one project, brand new project that's being built in Cocoa Beach today. Single family homes in Cocoa Beach, it's hard to find anything under $500,000. Most of them are $550,000 and up to multi-million dollars. And with the condos and townhomes, you could find them in the low hundreds to well over $1 million. Rentals in Cocoa Beach for single family homes are $2,400 and up per month. And condos and townhomes, you could find between $1,100 and $6,000 per month. Merritt Island, Florida. This barrier island could be a good option for you while being stationed at Patrick. It's a pretty big landmass between the Banana River and the Indian River, and the southern end of Merritt Island connects to the 404, which is the Pineda Causeway, and head east from there, and that's where you get to the South Gate. Also in Merritt Island, we have State Road 520 that kind of runs through the middle of it. If you live near 520, you head east until you hit A1A in Cocoa Beach, and then Patrick is a short drive south. Even though Merritt Island does have a couple condos and townhomes, almost all of the residential options will be single-family homes. These were built from 1950s to the 1990s for the most part. There is a little bit of new construction happening in Merritt Island. These homes will be dry lots. They'll be on canals. They'll be either on the Banana River or the Indian River. Prices for single-family homes, you could still find them in the mid-100s, but most of them are $250 and higher to the multi-million-dollar properties. Condos and townhomes in Merritt Island you can find from the mid-hundreds to over $1 million. Rentals for single-family homes in Merritt Island range from $1,800 to $8,000 per month, and condos or townhomes are $1,000 to $3,200 a month. We're now heading to the mainland to the 32940 zip code, which is North Melbourne, and also the Suntree and Viera area. This is the happening part of Brevard County where we have a lot of new construction that's going on, and actually that zip code is one of the best-selling zip codes for all of Brevard County. You can find single-family homes, townhomes, or condos. There's also 55 and up communities if this is something that you're interested in. Just know that this part of Brevard County is almost entirely HOAs. I really don't know your opinion. Are you for or against an HOA? If you're against HOAs, then this part of the county is not right for you. We'll explore other options. All of the properties here, they are on dry lots, on ponds or lakes, maybe backing to a preserve, or you could live on a golf course. There are no oceanfront options on the mainland, and there could be a couple riverfront properties, but they're certainly not prevalent in this section of Melbourne. Home prices range from $300,000 to over $2 million. You could find a condo or townhome from $175,000 to about $600,000. Rental options in the 32940, single-family homes rent from $2,000 to $7,000 a month, and condos and townhomes, they rent from $1,300 to $4,000 per month. Staying in the city of Melbourne, we're going to central Melbourne, which is the 32934 and 32935 zip code. This is mostly single-family homes. You have homes that are in an HOA and some that are not. You also have some condos and townhomes too. And there are a large variety of homes in this area. You could find homes that were built in the early 1900s all the way up to new construction. There's quite a few homes in this area that were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Lot sizes range from a 40-foot zero lot line to multi-acre parcels. Waterfront options, you got a few here. If you're on the west side, you could live on Lake Washington, which is part of the St. John River system. On the east side, you could be on the Indian River. And there's also tributaries to the Intercoastal too, off of the Crane Creek or Turkey Creek that could be options for you. You could live on a lake or a pond or even a dry lot. Home prices in this section of Melbourne are from the 200,000s to over $1 million, and condos range from the low hundreds to over $1 million too. Rentals in this section of Melbourne are between $1,700 per month to $4,300 per month, and $950 to $3,200 a month for condos or townhomes. Since Brevard County is over 70 miles from end to end and Patrick is located in the middle, I'm only referencing 20 to 25 minute drive from either of the gates. If you're looking to live a little further south or want more information about West Melbourne or Palm Bay, maybe you're looking more a little bit north for Rockledge, Cocoa, or even Titusville. If you have questions about that area or this upcoming move altogether, I'm here to help. We can schedule a call. I'll have a link below to the comment, and that's my cell phone number. Give me a call or a text. My name is Eric Larkin. I'm with Real Brokers. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you on the next show.